All right, welcome back. So this is just going to be a little short because that's what we do. The last video we ripped down the headliner. We got some things to do here, but to start sanding all this down, I want to have a proper mask and a full suit. So I'm going to do something a little bit counterproductive, which is polish up the dashboard a little bit, just because it seems to be the only thing that might shine up nicely on this car without being a major project. And of course, when I sand all this down, I might actually cover it up so it doesn't get too dusty, but the goal is to get all the loose stuff off, paint it, and well, get the rust off, treat it and paint it. And we're just going to put some basic sound deadening in for now in the roof, and to make it nice to look out the front view here, thinking I can do my best and see how we can clean this dashboard up. I've already done a little bit on the chrome, a little bit of pitting, but overall pretty good. The more I look at this dashboard, the more I'm appreciating it, because it's actually pretty cool. You've got a piece of rubber here that goes in, plexiglass, with several kind of, there's several levels to this, and it's really good condition. It's not cracked or anything. Then you have this piece of kind of trim that goes over here, which is painted gold. You have the speedometer that will go in a ribbon turning around. Then you have the big tachometer on the side, which, to be honest, is pretty cool. You got your idiot's lights down here, but they're pretty easy going. But the nice thing is you have oil pressure, you have water temp, and you have your fuel gauge here. So you have two fairly useful gauges. So of course, being Italian, they kind of like that. I take it this will be the window wiper, 2-speed, electric. This will be, I reckon that will be lights, headlights, something like that. This is something I'm not sure. There does not seem to be a clock in the dash. I've seen other models with a clock up here. I have no idea what this is. That might be a volume control, if somebody has added something to the radio, I don't know. This, I guess, is also something to figure out what is what. But there's some switches, so I don't know what they're all for. Fortunately, some of these have corroded quite a bit, but we can try and clean them up, see what they become. This is a interesting piece under here for something. Again, I have no clue what it is. It's going to be fairly interesting to put a battery to the car and see what lights light up and what it does, but we'll take that another day. But today, just clean up a little bit. You can see I've moved along here. It's got a little bit of paint clean or polish, and then just getting this dirt, deep ingrained dirt off here with a paint cleaner kind of polish, and then putting in some polish on top. So it just be nice to have a clean and nice dashboard to look at, just for inspiration. It's a funny thing with this car, the more I look at it, the more I really like it. And I'm going to leave this on the steering wheel for now, because no matter what I'm going to do, it's kind of does protect the backlight for the time being. But that'll be my final thing on this car. When I'm ready to drive it, I'm going to take this old cover off. I guess some people like these kind of covers, but I'd like to get it off. Somebody has just got into the workshop and is being a little bit curious. What is he doing? Hello, Indy. You gonna come for a little drive? You coming for a drive? Hmm? And try the back seat? And try the back seat, Indy? Indy, come on. What do you think? You ready for a drive? Good. He's learning. used to not go into cars, but he seems pretty comfortable in here. You got wet feet, do you? Oh well, the interior needs a clean anyway. There's the dashboard, somewhat cleaned up. You know, another half an hour you will never get back, but I don't know. When you got these hopeless projects, it's nice to have something to give you motivation to continue, or at least give you an idea of what it could be in the future. Whereas, you know, slight problem is up front and down there, but yeah, good to look at. Now, I'm a big fan of Cold War motors. That's Scott and his friends over in Canada. A little homage to their very exciting and exotic show, Classic Darts. There's a few classic darts in the ashtray here, and we have these fantastic old tips. I guess it was kind of an extra filter tip or whatever it was, which you could chew on. Some of them very good condition, so if I might send them over to Scott and his friends to restore my classic filter tips. Just put them in the ultrasonic a few times and they'll be ready to go. I think these are a proper vintage as well. I don't know if you could recognize the star or whatever. Unfortunately, a lot of the darts are, you know, fixer-uppers. I think they might be a little bit past their prime, but the tips definitely have good potential. So if you get a shabby looking parcel, Scott, you better just chuck it in the bin if you see it comes from here, because it's going to contain some classic filter tips for you to restore. Another thing we found in here is I guess that is a beer bottle top. Don't know, but yeah, that's it for my classic darts over here at the Nico Watch channel, which is basically yeah, me mucking around with cars and my work, which I would say I'm a little bit more, probably better at fixing watches than I am cars, but you know, I'd like to learn. I'd like to know how to do this. Another bonus thing is look at the amount of wear on the pedals. It's not too bad, is it? It looks pretty good. Not much more to say. Then yeah, we'll keep you updated. I discovered some more good repairs. You can look in the corner down there, you can see some of these pop riveted a steel plate onto the door, you know, that's what you do. And we got some algae and rust in there, but you know, where it is, it's not going to get any worse. That's something. Yeah, that was nice. Polished that and done. Gonna go home, call it a day. There's not much to do here today. Apologies if this it's a bit of a boring video, but you know, look at that. The Alfa Romeo 2600 Berlina dashboard. What a sight. Imagine cruising down on the autostrada in this. You know, you're going 140 kilometers an hour and you're just passing all the Volkswagen Beetles and Fiat 500s. You know, you're the boss. You're definitely the boss if you're out driving this in 1962. Also spent a few minutes just polishing up the center here. Obviously I need to go a bit more thorough behind certain things, but from being like that to being like this, just a few minutes cleaning and polishing. It's quite, it's almost like therapy when you do those kind of jobs, because it's not hard and it's not demanding, but it's, you know, you get a bit of a result. Whereas if you're welding and polishing rust and so on, it's a bit more challenging. So that's a job for another day. But I think this entire section around here, down there, will pretty much turn out like that with a clean up. So that'll be a job for when I can't feel like doing anything else. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm kind of run out of time for tonight, but especially excited about the inner wings here, going behind there and going back. And if I do find any open things, I'll touch it up with paint and whatnot. Like around here, that will definitely need a bit of touch up. But just, yeah, as I've said many times in previous videos, in this video, definitely going to be an oily rag car, but in the engine bay I'll try and do it as clean and nice as possible and preserve most of the original finish. Anyway, super short Alfa video update, nothing dramatic, nothing major. I'm not going to do any real work to this car until I get paperwork sorted. And if I get the paperwork sorted, I'm going to go and look at the potential donor engine for this. I think the next thing I'm really going to go for before this will be the Alfa will be restored is definitely work a bit more on the Flaminia. I think that's about due. I'm going to look at getting the windows out, front and back, and so we can get the headliner out. I suppose this is not going to be an oily rag car. This is going to try and be a nice car. So when it comes to the headliner here, I was hoping I can salvage it, but it seems to be tearing more and more. And I don't think it would last very long when I try to reinstall it and whatnot, so we might have to go for a new headliner at some point. But yeah, both cars are, I would say, equally solid. This is a bit more rusty, like down here where the Alfa's got no rust. It's got a bit more in the doors, but it's got better arches, at least the top, back, and definitely the front arches are better on this. But yeah, a lot of work on both cars. And again, the jacks, you see a pattern here. It's buying cars that need a bit of welding. They're not hopeless cars, but definitely they do need a bit of work. My philosophy is, as long as you have got one good driving car, which I have in the tent over there, you're allowed to have muck around cars as well. I think that's the key thing, to have something you can drive, and then something you can play with when you have time, which I don't have, but it's in a nice dry garage, so it's not deteriorating. That's the important part. Anyway, till next time, have a good one. Definitely work a bit more on the Flaminia. I think that's about due. I'm going to look at getting the windows out, front and back, and so we can get the headliner out. I suppose this is not going to be an oily rag car. This is going to try and be a nice car. So when it comes to the headliner here, I was hoping I can salvage it, but it seems to be tearing more and more, and I don't think it would last very long when I try to reinstall it and whatnot, so we might have to go for a new headliner at some point. But yeah, both cars are, I would say, equally solid. This is a bit more rusty, like down here where the Alfa's got no rust. It's got a bit more in the doors, but it's got better arches, at least the top, back, and definitely the front arches are better on this. But yeah, a lot of work on both cars. And again, the jacks, you see a pattern here. It's buying cars that need a bit of welding. They're not hopeless cars, but definitely they do need a bit of work. My philosophy is, as long as you have got one good driving car, which I have in the tent over there, you're allowed to have muck around cars as well. I think that's the key thing, to have something you can drive, and then something you can play with when you have time, which I don't have, but it's in a nice dry garage, so it's not deteriorating. That's the important part. Anyway, till next time, have a good one.